All right, folks, starting your final draft paper. So you've got your final draft. You should also have out your measurements. You're going to need those really soon. So start with a gesture drawing. So step one of this final draft drawing is to start with the gesture drawing, get someone to pose for you, and then you're going to do that gesture drawing really quickly in the proper gesture drawing. Make sure they're doing an interesting pose that kind of shows off your God. Okay, so now also keep this really light. Your final drawing is going to go on the same paper. So you can barely see this in my video because it's nice and light. So that is step one, is to do your gesture drawing. Then you are going to start measuring. So this video is going to talk to you about measuring how tall you are and the ways of measuring. So the first way of measuring, the way that you will see me walk around the room typically doing, is I take my fingers. And I am 7 heads tall, so I've got my measurements here. I'm looking at, I see that I am 7 heads tall. So I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 6 is the only one that will fit on my page. My paper runs out of space. So you noticed as I was measuring, you noticed I was putting this finger. So I was moving this one, putting this finger, holding that spot. If you're having trouble doing that, you can do this, and then you can put a little mark so you know where to go, so that you're not just keep going back to the same spots and measuring, so you're accurate. Now, the other thing you can do if you're having too much trouble doing that, you can try using your pencils. And kind of see how I'm pinching my pencil, and then I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Now that one, if that way is still too complicated, if you are still having trouble with that, the third and final way I have of measuring is you can make yourself another head ruler. So you make yourself a head ruler on a little piece of paper, then I know 1, 2, 3. So either way, my head is too big for my paper. So what I need to do is make my head smaller. So that's why we made this nice and light. So you're going to erase, and then you're going to make the head smaller. Now I fit 6, so it doesn't have to get too much smaller. And I also don't want my head to be too tiny because I want my paper to fill the page. So now let's try that. Let's try my new head ruler. So I need to remake it since I changed the size of my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that one got a little too small because I got a lot of space left on my paper, but that's probably okay. So now I'm going to draw myself a nice line, and now it looks like my figure's a little bit better because my head's a little bit more proportional. Let's see if I can focus that, make it a little darker. All right, so now that is the first step. Do that, and then have Miss Chesser check you off.